All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to Nerd Enthusiasts, our poker podcast and videos. We have two great sponsors I want to talk about. First, I want to talk about a new Twitch channel that I'm a part of, and I'm glad to be a part of it. It is called the Slot Squad. It actually starts January 1st, 2021. I'm going to be on there with a couple other people. Check it out. Please go there. Subscribe to the Twitch page. It's free to do. Does not cost anything to do. You can sign up, follow the page. And for doing so, you'll be able to see exclusive sign-up bonuses for all different kinds of casinos. We're going to play poker, live dealer, blackjack, roulette, all kinds of cool stuff. So please, please, please stop by, check that out, and come talk to me. I talk in the chat all day when we're on there.
Yeah.
We're pretty much on there every single night. Brian's been on there. He's seen me on there. We do giveaways,
Yep.
T-shirts, all kinds of cool stuff. So twitch.tv/the Slot Squad, all one word. Check that out. Also, check out, we have another sponsor as well. So if you are in New Jersey or you plan on being in New Jersey and you are a poker player like us, check out our link. It is going to be in the description. It's an exclusive link. It's going to give you $20 for signing up using that link. And also, you can get up to a $1,500 match bonus as well for your first deposit. But for the $20 you get for using that link down below, you do not have to put one deposit in. It is just put your information in there and you're good to go. Obviously, 888 is a very trusted brand, but if you use our link, you get the free bonus sign up. Plus, it helps out us grow this podcast more. So we appreciate it. Check it out. Go down below. Let us know what you think. All right, guys?
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to talk WSOP Hall of Fame nominations.
Yep.
So WSOP... So here, okay, so a little background information. The Hall of Fame for poker used to be owned by Binion's, which was the horseshoe. But when, I guess it was mid-2000s, when Caesars, which was Harris at the time, bought the WSOP brand from Binion's, they also bought the rights to the Hall of Fame. Now, there isn't actually a Hall of Fame, which I don't understand why they don't like build like something. Like, why not have like a little museum, like a poker gambling museum, and then have the Poker Hall of Fame? Like, I would pay $5 a year to go through that, like, right?
Yep.
And you do it as like nonprofit if you do it for like historical reasons or whatever. So I never understood why a casino doesn't do that. That's a whole nother story or topic. So if you're listening, let's talk. We'll figure something out.
That is a good idea.
No, but seriously, like, that's a tourist trap. Like, you would go see that, like a gambling memorial Hall of Fame, but also have the WSOP Hall of Fame in there. Like, why not?
You would think maybe like WSOP would like scoop that up for when they have it at the Rio. Like, they have so many things going on. If they just maybe set off a little part of
like
where the tournaments take place and just put up like memorabilia and like
a makeshift,
a little walkthrough.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And you know what? And you have a gift store at the end, and you end up selling,
Yep.
WSOP merch at the end of it. So let's talk WSOP. We got ideas. So anyway, they bought the rights to that. So they own the right to the Hall of Fame and the people that are in there. That was in 2004, actually. They bought that. That was when it was bought by Caesars Entertainment. So here is the things that you need. I'm going to read these off that you need to get into eligibility of being nominated in. So first off, you have to played against acknowledged top competition, right? Like, you got to play against the top in the world. You can't just be the guy that is awesome in the Oklahoma home games and rake it up. You got to be at least 40 years old at the time of nomination. You have to played for high stakes. It doesn't. So, what is high stakes? Is that $10,000 buy-ins? Is that $25,000 buy-ins? Is that $100,000? That's not really made clear. In my opinion, if you're playing $10,000 buy-ins, I'm considering that pretty high stakes. And then the other thing is you got to be played consistently well, and you have to gain the respect of your peers, and your career has to stand the test of time. So that is what the requirements are.
That's for players. There's another requirement for non-players.
Yeah, there's other things that go for non-players. That's just for the player status. So you can go in as a player or a non-player. And so this year they're taking one person. So basically they had like open nomination going on. And then what they did was they brought it down. Let me just bring it up here, our list. So we have a list of the people that have been nominated to go through. Now, so they're only putting in one person in.
Of this list.
Yeah.
And this list is comprised of people who've actually been nominated in previous years. Like these aren't just a new set of nominees. Some of the people on this list have been nominated more than one time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right.
And so what I did was I put down some of my own, what I'm going to say is my betting rank of what their odds are to get in there. All right, so here we go. I will start off. So they're only putting one in, except I'll explain the one might be a 2-for-1 deal. But we kind of talked about this before. I think it's good that they're only putting one in.
Mm-hmm.
They're not oversaturating the field.
Yeah.
Because like we talked about, you put 4 players in or 5 players in, and like 3 years from now, you're kind of watering down the respect of what
Absolutely.
it really is.
Absolutely.
Then like you're like scrounging for people to get in there, and then you're just kind of putting like half-ass people in there.
I mean, I also think that with the requirement that you have to be at least 40 years of age,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are still people that play or continue to play after they kind of hit it big in their 20s, but that list has dwindled significantly.
It's there to filter out the one-time wonders.
Yeah.
You know, anyone could bing something or have a hot summer where they go on a run and hit 2 bracelets. Not anyone, but, like it happens. And then all of a sudden, you don't hear from that person for 10 years because they blow their load. They just ran lucky is what it was.
Yep.
Or, they were solid and they just had a hot streak. So, yeah, if you're still here 10, 20 years later and you're still playing against these top competitors, I think that definitely is a reason for the over 40 crowd, to hold up.
I think that that requirement kind of thins the number of people that you could actually look at, because a lot of the guys that are hot right now, that are in, deep in poker, that they're just turning 30 or they're in their early 30s, so they're not going to be able to be nominated or eligible for 10 years. So yeah, if you take 5 of these guys off the list this year, who do you have next year? Who do you have the following year? So it's smart. I think it's good. And like you said, it gives some substance to being in the Hall of Fame instead of just being like, who cares?
Yeah, it makes something for you to strive for. The only thing I think that maybe should be in there is that I think there should be something for, it says consistently well, respect, played against. But I think there should be something about, I don't want to say giving back, but like something like positive, like, because you could just be a scumbag that's really good at poker. But like, I think you should either done something positive for the community.
Yeah.
Some kind of outreach, if it is charity, some kind of charitable thing. But there's got to be, I feel like that should be something along the lines, something that you've giving back to the community as well.
Yeah.
Should be in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, this is just my opinion. I'm going to go through my longest odds down to my top picks.
Well, do you want to give the list? You want to give the list?
No, I'm going to go through.
Okay,
I'm going to go through the list.
Got it.
Okay, so first, my longest shot is Ted Forrest. So Ted Forrest, he was actually in. Do I have the book? Off the fly here. Yes. There's a good book here. This is off the fly. The Professor, the Banker, and Suicide King. If you never read it, definitely read it.
Really good book.
And he's talked about in here, Ted Forrest was part of, what they call him, the corporation?
Something like that.
Yeah. That they made a lot of money based on these high-stakes cash games that were going on a while back. But I think Ted Forrest is probably your long shot. I have him at 20-1 odds. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how relevant he is right now. I mean, it doesn't jump out to me as being like super relevant. Now, he does have over $6 million in cashes. He has 6 bracelets, which is probably the highest on there that's there. So I think tournament-wise, high stakes, he meets all the eligibility. I just don't know like relevance of like what. I don't know. It just doesn't like stand out. He hasn't had anything since 2018. In recent cashes. So, like, that's what I'm talking about, relevance. 2018, I see as his latest big cash. It was for, like, $17,000 or something. But it was a $10,000 buy-in. So, that is my long shot.
And that's at Card Players, right?
Yeah, so Card Player has, like, links up on, like, a lot of them going on. So, my next one going down, again, we're going to go 18-1 odds on Elliot
Elezra. Say that 5 times fast.
I know. So High Stakes Poker is back, and he was like a
he was the
he was like the face. Now he's got over $3 million in cashes, 4 bracelets. Recent cashes, he has had stuff in relevance since 2019. He's still playing. He's still in the mix. He's up there in the bracelet count, obviously. He has one WPT championship as well. I think, and I hate to say this, but Ellie and Ted Forrest, obviously excellent players, tons of bracelets, whatever, but I just don't think they're like in the community's eye, I think, in my opinion, anymore.
I mean, it's a shame to say it. Like, you don't want to knock these guys because their poker resume is what it is. Like,
yeah, it's amazing.
They're established, but if they're going to try and market it a little bit, they're going to want to probably someone's going to get in that's going to, make some noise, or at least the people are going to be like, oh yeah, that dude deserves it, blah blah blah. Like, I don't even know if half the people that are out there listening even you would know who Ted Forrest is unless they're really into poker.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, all the regulars, like top players, everyone knows these guys, but. But here's the thing, though. It's not a popularity contest. Anyone can vote for who they think to get in, but once this list is established, it's voted on by the members of the committee.
Yeah.
So that's also cool in some regards. So it's not like a corporation vote. It's not like a scheme, or whatnot. So I do like that.
And I think, what do they have, 30 or 31 active people that are eligible to vote?
That's like actually alive?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something.
I think that's what I think I read that it was 31 people are actually voting, casting their vote for who they want to get, in. So
next one down is my next odds is 16-1. I put on Mike Mattisau. Mattisau obviously has, I think, 2 bracelets. Who, if you've ever read his book, I'm just doing like a book review here. Apparently, is what's happening. Where is it? I don't know where it is. No, that's not that one. I don't know where it is, but let's see here. I don't want to kill too much time here looking for stuff. Anyway, he pretty much says that he won his bracelets on crystal meth. That's a true story. I didn't make that up. He won both his bracelets like high on crystal meth or whatever. No, he's got 4 bracelets. I'm sorry. The first 2 were on crystal meth, and then he has a couple after that.
What's that like?
But
I can't even win a home game sober. He's winning bracelets on crystal meth.
What's his book called? The Life with the Devil or something like that. It's actually a really good book. It's an autobiography about his life. It's very interesting. I'm sorry if I'm misquoting off the top of my head. I'm just we go on this stuff on the fly. So he's got over 9 million cashes. Again, 4 bracelets. He's got over 1.7 mil in WPT earnings. No championships there. Mike plays online. He's stood the test of time, but I don't know. He still has that degenerate image to him, Like I think that's.
I mean, if I set my own odds, I mean, he'd probably be lower than the 2 that you've named, only because I think the people that are currently in the Hall of Fame,
they have more respect for Ellie and Ted,
and they have more respect just for poker in general. And same thing. I'm not knocking, Mattisau. I don't even know the guy, but what I'm saying is, what I do know of him is that he's not the most polished player, and I think that some people look at poker and from a perspective of we want someone to kind of represent the game the way that we represent it. We don't want someone who flips out on their competitors or gives poker that bad image. And I think that's kind of, I think that's kind of what he represents. I'm not saying that he wouldn't get in, but I think if I was setting odds, he'd probably be lower than Forrest for sure.
Yeah. My next one, again, this is more of a respect in the industry. Why I put this pick a little bit higher is Matt Savage. Matt Savage is a tournament director for WPT. He's got over $100,000 in earnings in cashes. He makes a guest appearance in the movie Lucky You, which we'll be talking about. Can't wait to talk about that. But so I put him in there of 12-1 odds for Matt. I mean, he's just got a lot of respect. He's done a lot for the community. He founded that's what it is, the Tournament Directors Association. He's done some things that has really been a part, and he's been nominated multiple times for the Hall of Fame. So he's not a pick this year. I don't think is going to get in, but he's going to get in
at some point.
Yeah, he's going to get in at some point. He's just too well respected. I mean, you never hear people bad mouthing Matt Savage. I just don't think this year is his year to get in. Next, and this is probably about 10-1 odds, I put Patrick Antonius. Again, I think he's got a lot of respect from the field, but I don't know if he's going to be up there to be able to get in this year.
Now, he's someone that a lot of people would definitely recognize. Even the, I'd say like rec player, not someone who's really into it. He is, I don't want to say the face of poker, but he's definitely someone that people would recognize.
Especially in the cash realm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so he has 0 bracelets. He has 11 million in earnings though of cash. I think that's from like a lot of cash games as well, is what they're reporting. But he's obviously, his tournament side of things is not where he's known from. He is known from his world in the high stakes poker. And I think cash players, since it's hard to rate them specifically, it's hard to put a quantitative number on things. Like you could easily say like, Mattisau has 4 bracelets, or like, and it's easy to quantify that, but it's hard to quantify a cash player that's been here for so long and still plays like nosebleeds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's a little more of a sleeper, but I still put it at 10-1 odds for Patrick. Now moving down, I don't personally like this pick, but I'll tell you why I put it 7-1. Scheinberg, Negreanu put a huge push on this guy. And the reason is, if you don't know who he is the guy that's pretty much responsible for like Poker Stars. He's the guy that like fired up Poker Stars. And obviously there's been a huge controversy around Poker Stars.
Yeah.
And I think that's what keeps him out. It's just there's too much bad blood out there. But amongst the top players, but you got to remember the people that are voting are the ones, that are voting for him. Negreanu is pushing hard for him this year. Real hard, says that he deserves to be in there.
I mean, Daniel Negreanu tends to value his own opinion more than anybody else. I mean, that's apparent by his Twitter posts and comments, and he thinks what he says is the way things should go.
Yeah.
But, I mean, over some of these other guys on this list, he can politic for him as much as he wants. I don't think the majority of the poker community is going to be like, you know what? Daniel's right. Let's get this guy in. Like,
yeah, but you got to remember, some of these guys did have contracts with Poker Stars, though. That's the thing. This guy financed a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
So that's what you got to put in account for. Some of these guys that are in the Hall of Fame have made it up through Poker Stars.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that was like their boss, but like it kind of was like.
Yeah, he helped get the game. Yeah, I get it.
Now this is the evil villain, 5-1 pick coming up next, Chris Ferguson. He's the villain, man. He is like, and here's what I said about Chris Ferguson. He should just embrace being the villain.
Yeah.
Just embrace it, dude. Like WWE like style, you know what I mean? Like just embrace being the bad guy. He's got 6 bracelets. He's got multiple Player of the Year awards. If you took out the whole scandal, this dude would be snap in. Like, wouldn't even be a question of him being in the Hall of Fame. But he's like the player on steroids in the baseball world, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's an asterisk next to his name.
I mean, I think, there's people who feel one way or another. Me personally, I don't really care what he did. You know what I mean? I'm looking at his body of work as a player. I mean, I'm not saying he does or doesn't deserve it, but look, 90% of the people who play poker have some sort of degenerateness to them, and sometimes that's a criminal aspect. So I don't fault him for what he did, and I'm sure that there's other people that were in the know or kind of
100%
well involved, and it went on. You know what I mean? So I'm sure if push came to shove, there's other people, well-known, popular people who've done some shady stuff in their day. 100%.
100%. But he just took the rap for it is what it really came down to. And, he's obviously well-hated, but he's also well-recognized. Like, so just randomly, I was talking to just some random people that kind of play poker a little bit, but not really. And the one guy's wife, when we were talking about poker players, I forget what the whole conversation was, but she's like, "Oh, I like that Jesus guy." Like, he's still like, he stands out. He's got a cowboy hat, long hair, like he's got the Jesus, Ferguson nickname. Like, he's still like well known, and not that that lady can vote for him, obviously, but he's still a face of the poker world. And
him getting in would definitely come with some blowback, but it wouldn't be because it wasn't deserved for his poker resume. It would come because of what he was involved in.
Yeah,
that whole
I mean,
thing.
his poker resume is probably the most impressive one overall, at least for tournaments. And he's also one. And listen, I got to thank Chris Ferguson for this. He did years ago the Chris Ferguson Challenge, and basically he started with $0. He was playing free rolls. I think it took him 2 years. Misquote me, but he took $0 to turn in 10,000. And I formatted a style a couple years ago where I did the same thing, except I started with $100. It took me, I guess, a year and a half to get to 10 grand, just playing within certain limits. But I formatted off of what he did.
Yeah.
And so, he talked a lot about bankroll management. So, I mean, as a player, I mean, he's top notch. I put him at 5-1. I would not be, like I said, I would not be shocked if he got. I mean, a lot of people would be pissed, but I would not be shocked if he did get in. Going on to the next one is Huxseed. I put him at 4-1 to get in. Huxseed is a WSOP main event champion. He's got $6 million in cashes, 5 bracelets, another one, and not a bad resume. I think he just, the thing about Huxseed is that he's not a face of the game.
Yeah,
again.
no.
I talked about some of these other guys, but when it comes to making it the time frame of staying in the poker world, relevancy, being good, he was there. Now he hasn't had anything really since 2016. I don't know what his deal is, if he fell out of it. I don't know. He's 51 years old, so he hasn't been on the radar for quite some time. But I mean, he does have a pretty impressive resume going in. So I think that is one that maybe people might put him a little lower, but I think just with the main event under his belt and he's still playing, he didn't disappear completely, I put him a little higher. Now, let's go on to my top choices that I put in here. This is my personal favorite, but I put him as second. Antonio.
Yeah. I mean, looking at this list, he would be the person that I would expect to get it just because of everything that is going on now in the poker world, what poker really needs to kind of propel itself to the next level. He's involved, he's still playing, he's relevant, he's got the resume, he's got everything. I mean, and he's very recognized. Everyone knows who he is when they see him. And that's, mostly rec players and, people who play all the time.
Mm-hmm. And he doesn't have a bad image. He's, he's well liked. It seems like he's well liked amongst the community.
Mm-hmm.
He has 2 WPT championships. He has 3 bracelets in WSOP, including the big one.
Yep, the big one from One Drop. Yep.
So he has that big one under his belt. So I think Antonio is my favorite personal pick. He meets all the requirements. I think he seems like a good dude. I don't know him personally. I would hope to meet him one day. He seems like a good I look at it as ambassadors for.
Yeah, that's exactly how I look at it too.
These are ambassadors in my opinion. That's what the WSOP Hall of Fame should be. They're people that represent a lot of the good things.
Now, how old is he?
He's 42. So
this is his second year of eligibility.
Yeah, and he was a big favorite last year and didn't get in, but he was up there. Now, this is not my personal number one, but I did put it as for odds. I put it 1-1 for the betting odds on. This is a package deal.
Oh yeah.
You want to tell who it is?
Lon McCarron and Norman Chad.
Yeah,
yeah,
the world famous announcers for the WSOP.
Yeah, I'd put them up there high.
I think they're going to be in there. I mean, they are definitely going to get in at some point. They are going in as a pair as non-poker players if they go in for their announcing world of the WSOP. I mean, when I think of summertime poker, watching ESPN, you hear their voices, just
corny jokes and oh my god. But
it's funny though.
Without them, it doesn't. It's not what it is. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I just they are a comedic pair that just work perfectly for this niche world of poker, and they're part of WSOP brand. They've been there every year. They are still and they're active on Twitter and in the conversations of a lot of things. The other day, actually, Poker News was running a online Twitch stream, and Lon was in the Twitch stream, like talking in chat to people, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
they don't think they're better than,
They're
people.
engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, they've been known to play, like, daily tournaments and stuff like that at, like, local casinos. And so they're engaged in the community. And, again, a good ambassador for the brand of Poker World. And, yeah. So they're going to be voting on that, and we should have a pick.
It says here, so it was after the 31 living Hall of Fame members will cast their votes.
Okay.
It's going to be, like you said, one person will be inducted, and it's going to be announced at the WSOP main event heads up.
Yeah. So.
From, the GG Poker finalist, and then the WSOP finalist will face off.
So
that's cool.
Yep. So that's what we got for our WSP Hall of Fame. So thanks, guys. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel. Comment down below. We'd like to hear some opinions. What's our email again? Do you know what it is?
Nerd Enthusiast Poker. Let me get
something. We'll put it in the description.
Yeah, it'll be in the comments.
And besides that, make sure you check out our sponsors. Please check them out.
Yep.
Twitch.tv/The Slot Squad for casino gambling live every single night, live on channel, and I will be on there some nights, so make sure you stop by. And also check out our 888 link that we have exclusively down below. If you sign up for that link, you get $20 for free if you're in the state of New Jersey. You can sign up and play legal poker here in New Jersey. Use our link down below. All right, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Thanks, guys.